By George, I think I've got it.
Hybrothetical Thinking.
I saw that Bigfoot walking across the screen and I thought to myself, wow, they are real.
I ask us all, is that really reasonable?
Hybrothetical Thinking.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
And show you a little of the evidence.
Hybrothetical Thinking.
Researchers at Stanford University School of Medicine have pioneered a cancer vaccine that eliminated all traces of cancer in mice.
You could find evidence of that, my friends. You could change the world.
Hybrothetical Thinking, a podcast for the hypothetical thinker.
Hi, my Stas travelers, and welcome to Hybrothetical Thinking, a semi-informative podcast that explores the journey from probability to Johnny's completely naked possibility.
Don't do it.
My name is Nick Floyd, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Hola, me llamo Taylor.
Hola, me llamo Johnny.
And the way this works is that either Taylor or myself will do the research for our weekly episodes, and Johnny, sweet, sweet Jonathan Clark, goes into every episode completely blind, sort of like, let's say, Matthew McConaughey from Frailty. So that means he has no idea what we're covering each week.
I was thinking Blinken from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's very good. I just have no idea what's going on ever.
Yeah, no, basically the point of the guys, if you need, here, I'm going to hold your hand. Let me guide you through what I just said, okay? The point of the first two sentences of this podcast is basically Johnny doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about ever.
Yeah,
he don't know nothing about nothing, and me and Nick know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Off the air and on the air.
Nick and I.
I don't know.
Yeah. How you guys doing? Taylor, how's your week? How's your week been?
Man, I tell you, this week has been real busy. I've had a lot going on, but I've been slaying the shit out of it. This past 24 hours has been uber productive. Got to record a couple badass bands yesterday from the Atlanta area, and I'm pretty excited to show those to the world. It's going to be fun. How about y'all?
Well, on my end, first off, that sounds awesome. Like, nobody is more of a supporter of your outside podcast life than I. But sorry to me, I've been doing mainly podcast related things. What?
Said you're my rock.
Thanks, buddy. Anyways, wait, Taylor, quick question: do you consider Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a weapon?
Absolutely. Hasn't it been certified in like almost 50 countries?
I'm pretty sure, because I had that argument today. I could call him a weapon, but
I don't know if
anyways,
he's trained by the military or anything.
The Rock killed Bin Laden,
I don't
right?
think he did.
Oh no, he tweeted about it.
Did he?
Rumor has it.
He broke
this
the news.
just in. No, so
let's hang on a second, Jonathan.
Okay.
When Bin Laden was pronounced dead, the first person to break the news, fun fact, is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
How did he know first?
He knew the Navy SEAL that killed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he tweeted
that's cool.
it. Yeah.
Navy SEAL called Dwayne and was like, yo.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Dwayne, I just fucked up Bin Laden.
I fucked him up, bro.
Good job, sir.
I got some shit to tell you. So more importantly,
gossip
is who are you more on side with, The Rock or Stone Cold?
Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Oh, God, guys.
Clearly, Taylor, you can't smell what The Rock's cooking.
Hey, I don't.
He's like the
Honestly, I don't give a shit about it. I like them both, but I'm a WCW guy through and through. Straight to the core, baby. NWO, Wolfpack, all of it. WCW, baby. World Championship Wrestling for life.
I get that, but no, I always pick Rock. So back to reality. There goes gravity. The whole week, essentially, I've been prioritizing hypothetical stuff. You know, things were leaking, putting out there, and getting pretty stoked to, who knows, sometime soon see some of our viewers. So,
ooh,
to be determined. That's a little leak. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but that's a little information, a little spoiler. But
delete.
back up. So, no, I'm just doing hybro stuff, really. Nick, how have you been?
Man, you know what? I'm just real excited. You know why? Johnny, I open your Snapchat every damn day.
Really?
And I see these just wonderful poolside photos.
Oh,
and you know what that means? That means one thing. It means it's summertime.
Hot out there.
Summertime.
There's nothing
in the summer.
Listen, there's nothing that excites me more than summertime.
I think there's other things that excite you more.
It's fucking rainy most of the time.
Yeah, you're right.
It's miserable. Everyone's upset. You can't drink milk and walk outside without getting sick.
That would be a bad choice.
What?
And, you know, most importantly, nature's out to get you. We have the snakes. We have the spiders coming in. Just last week, a snake tried climbing into my parents' window back in Florida.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And your mom's 76-year-old neighbor had to come pull it out?
Yeah.
Wait, how is this
76? Did I hit that on the dot?
I'm
world
pretty sure you
news?
hit that on the hit. It hit on the no. Look at him.
It's world news.
It's irrelevant. The whole point here is that nature in summertime is the one thing about summertime that I can't stand. So in today's crazy news, we're just reminded how awful summer can be for people.
Okay.
Snakes are not the only thing that slither that can ruin your summer.
The band Velvet Revolver, I believe, slithered for a little while.
In some news, a 51-year-old was reported to have constant nosebleeds nonstop for 10 days.
This sounds like that chick we talked about.
Oh, my friend.
Okay.
This way worse than that.
Okay.
51 years old. He lives in China. Just constant nosebleeds for 10 days nonstop. And, he agonizing facial expressions. He knew that, the doctors right away, a nose throat specialist, like there's something going on. 10 days, is crazy. So the doctor decided, okay, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna check the nostrils, see what's going on. Shines a light in there. Something squirming around.
Oh, that's not cool.
So he grabs, as a doctor would do. He grabs a little metal thing, and he starts digging in this guy's nose.
Little metal duck thing.
Little nasal endoscopy, if you will.
Ew.
Digs in deep, grabs onto something real slithery and wet. Starts pulling that motherfucker out of his nose. Turns out it was a leech.
Oh, dude.
Leech crawled up into his nose when he was doing some work. He was working in the Yunnan province.
He's apparently swimming through swamps or something? What is this?
Yeah, he was just doing some work, and then all of a sudden, leech just, when he was sleeping,
that's
crawled right
disgusting.
into his nose. There are images, and I'm looking at him right now.
I'm not looking at him.
So I guess this leech was not very good at doing his job if all this blood was leaking out.
It kept missing. It was the most sloppy eater ever.
Or maybe a leech's poop looks like blood?
Maybe?
Well, all the intake is blood. Well,
Right,
actually, fascinating fact. Technically, stool is almost comprised of 99% blood.
What?
Dead blood
No.
cells. Yeah, dead blood cells are brown. That's why it's brown.
Really?
Yeah. You literally poop out your own blood cells.
That's pretty metal.
It is pretty metal. Literally, it's just your dead blood cells.
Pretty crazy. So
I wonder if he felt it or anything. Squirming around up there.
He was in pain.
I don't like this.
So that's what when he went to the doctor, he was like, There's something in my head, Doc. We gotta get it out.
Just like in the Matrix.
Oh, dude.
Doc, I think if you go in through the belly button, you can get it out.
Oh, this is nasty. It's like
If
the
you
Matrix.
go up in through the butthole.
It's like the Matrix. Where is that that random robot in
I'm pretty sure there's a scene in the Matrix where Neo's in a cab.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
and
in
Dr.
limo.
Smith reaches in his butthole and pulls out.
No, I think I'm remembering differently. I definitely remember.
It was like one of those little suction tools. It's like racing around his body, and then finally they get it. And
Though.
it's
It was in
basically
his
right
forearm,
through
right?
the. No, it was in his belly button.
Oh,
Probably.
I think it moved all throughout his body. I think, but
the more you say,
came out of the belly button. Belly button.
Definitely his belly button.
I have a belly button.
Oh, bummer.
I read this shit yesterday that when two people are kissing, they are effectively making one single tube from butt to butt.
Yeah. I've
Like a human centipede?
I've heard
Yeah.
that. Butt's the only, I've heard that too. It's so great.
Oh, my Lord. So anyway, we can talk about leeches and we can keep talking. The whole point is, guys,
Butt-ended tubes.
be safe out there this summer. And just watch out for, spiders, daddy long legs, and leeches that crawl inside your nose. With that
Blow
being said,
your noses regularly.
so I got one more piece of news for you before we dive right
double.
in. It's
Lay
a
it on
double
me.
hitter.
Doozy, okay.
So this happened last week, so we're a little behind. There is a man named James Oliver who claims he is stuck in our time zone Okay, time zone, like you think Eastern, Pacific, Central. No.
I can't get past Alabama.
The time zone I'm referring to that James Oliver is stuck in is he's stuck in our time zone of the year 2018. And he's trying to get back to his time zone of the year 6491.
Whoa.
Dang,
Man,
64.
he's
We're
way
still,
off.
there's
He's
still
way off.
humans in 6491?
Yeah, we're doing well, apparently.
Wow.
I think I watched this guy. I think I watched the interview with him.
Yeah, he took a lie detector test, and he passed.
What?
He passed. But listen, these lie detector tests, I know people take them all the time, and we're still using them as some sort of fact. But if you're a true sociopath, you can actually pass the lie detector
As long
test.
as you believe in your brain that you're right, that's all it takes.
Solipsism.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, it's not, that's not what it is. That's the reality thing. No, as
Well,
long
if
as
you use solipsism to
validate it.
current your oneness, then there you go.
Well, yeah, as long as this guy really does believe that he's from the time 6491, that's all it matters for the latitude. As long as he believes that that's valid, that's real.
Yeah.
Then he is correct.
It's it's so crazy. I'm going to read some of these quotes that he said during this interview before we move on. So he tells the presenter things like, "Your years are different to mine, and my planet is further away from the sun than yours is, so it takes longer to get around."
Yeah, that was one of the things that took me out of it right away. Like, why? I guess he explains why he's on another planet and shit, but that could have been an element just left. Why fabricate that? Come on, man. Just say you're from a different time, but this planet. Come on, bro.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Making yourself less believable.
it discredits it all, because if if your time machine was broken, your time machine's also a spaceship?
Right. You know?
Get it together.
Well, I would argue the fact that if you had a time machine in the time period that you can have a time machine, space travel would also be a thing. I think in that scenario, both would be at your local drugstore.
Well, maybe time travel also incorporates space, time and space. If you think about the universe is always expanding, always moving, if you gridded it out, you're actually able to say this point, the universe is never in that point again. Like the Earth is not now where it was yesterday. We're moving away from the center of the universe or whatever.
Totally.
So if we time traveled to 50 years ago, would we appear in the space in the universe where the Earth used to be?
Or you just be in
just be in open space. Yeah.
Oh fuck! I missed it by 20 feet.
Well, is that
by millions of light years?
Yeah.
Is that how Back to the Future worked? Where he crashed in the barn in Back to the Future 1 because that's where there was actually property there. And
Yeah,
they built
exactly.
The
Yeah,
Twin
it was
Pines
physically
Mall?
there. Yeah, and he hit those 2 pine trees, and that's where the mall was. Yeah, and then the mine was there. So yeah, that's kind of going against what I was just saying. He's he can time travel anywhere on the Earth or whatever, and he'll end up in that same position on the Earth, irrelevant of where the Earth is in relation to the sun or the universe.
Well, where it all the planet thing, that quote threw me off. But where it really threw me off is that he said, "Everyone in the future has their own artificial intelligence system called Siri, which recognizes users by their voice," and then says,
"Purchase it here."
Yeah, he says global warming is going to get worse and our planet's going to get hotter, and advises us to put a cap on carbon emissions.
A cat? A feline?
A cap.
The cat'll do it. I think the cat
that makes more
definitely
sense.
help.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I just that's
sounds
sort
more like a ploy. So if he has ulterior motives, in my mind, if I was from the year 1640, 6491, I would know that whatever progression of course that humans made would end up to that time period from now. I really couldn't do a whole lot. I think it's somebody just pulling our legs and be like, "All right, I'm from this time period. If you don't listen to me, this will happen." It sounds like a crazy person. It can't be.
Why doesn't he just go find his? Well, that wouldn't. Nick, you fucked it up, Nick.
It's broken. The time machine's broken.
Damn
See,
it.
what I'm bothered by is that
I had a thought and I ruined it.
these lie detector tests were administered by this blah 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 paranormal.com, which is the same blah 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 paranormal.com that released it, and that we're hoping that you'll go to our site because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely just a fucking clickbait.
You know what we should do? We should make up our own news story
And see if it takes off?
One of us can be in it. We can blur the face because the face is blurred in a video. And
deep in the voice.
Let's see if we can come up with something crazy. Like, let's write something.
Like Taylor, like half man, half God.
Yeah.
Damn,
dude, everyone would believe it though, and it would be like this runaway religion where everyone like forms this cult that I don't even want to be the leader of, but it just happens now. You know, that could be dangerous, guys.
Yeah, it probably is.
You know what? Let's go buy an outfit. Let's find some. You know, we'll get a costume designer. We'll make Taylor a costume.
Yeah,
and we'll do an interview with you.
I'll be dressed like the guys, like the Wild Stallion guys from the future Bill and Ted.
Yeah, you'll be dressed like all the aliens from Dude, Where's My Car?
Zoltan.
Zoltan. And let's see if it takes off. Let's do that. All right, let's say it now in this podcast. Episode 12, we are going to plant a fake news story. And if you because we have a handful of listeners, they'll be in on it.
More than a handful. You got a lot of hands. If it's a handful.
when you see the stories, start trending, you guys know you're in on it.
Yeah, you current listeners, you're in it with us, so you have to help propagate the story and back it up for us. Lie with us. Lie!
Go on our Facebook page.
Hey, hi, bros.
We're going to put a poll up, and all the poll is going to say, which one, ? And we're going to put a couple options in there. Yeah. We're going to say time travel. We're going to say aliens. And we're going to say, we're at a couple other options. And you guys, you vote, you pick, and that's the story that we will come up with elaborately.
Maybe there should also be a D, all of the above.
Possessed by...
the devil.
What if we did when you were possessed by Jesus?
Whoa. I said, this could get dangerous. Guys, I'm going to be 33 next year. I'm not trying to die. Anyway. Shit, that's this year. I'm going to be 33 this year, guys. Fuck, I got less time than I thought.
Well, that's all the news I have for now. But guys, go to the Facebook. There'll be some sort of poll up there that you can vote on. And I'm serious. We're going to do this. Like, I know we laugh and joke a lot, and we have in the last several minutes of this podcast. But we're doing this. We're going to do it, and we're going to see what happens.
We mean it.
Well,
we mean it.
Was this Time Traveler? This wasn't the same Time Traveler. I've been watching a lot of Time Traveler stuff lately, obviously. But this isn't the guy who said he came back for a specific computer part from like a mid-'80s IBM computer, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a different one.
This is a guy whose
different
time
story
machine
for
was
a
broken.
different day. Yeah, I watched this other video where this guy came back in time specifically for a part, like a processor that's in this like certain IBM computer from like 1984, and it's like apparently been confirmed that this piece that he's talking about is very odd and very rare, and it does like crazy shit. And also like tying into that, like recently I think NASA had to purchase a bunch of old computers off of eBay, or a bunch of medical machines off of eBay, in order to take the microprocessors out of it, because they aren't manufactured anymore, and they use those for whatever their rocketry bullshit is, whatever they're doing.
Man, don't get me started on NASA. They discovered like propane on Mars.
Methane.
Methane.
Listen, we don't have enough time in the world to go into this.
It makes me so mad. I thought they discovered like a person.
I think the idea of methane is that it's caused by dying carbon-based life forms. Is that correct?
I thought like
it's a byproduct of decomposition.
It's the most simplistic organic living matter. That's what methane is.
I was expecting like an actual alien, like right then, like a ET.
Now those aliens just had Chipotle and just farted a bunch.
Taylor, that was really good.
That was a good one. Anyway, yeah.
Hey, hi, bros. Little pause for the cause as we pass our money-saving powers on to you. If you're anything like me and you like chewing massive wads of gum while being admired for wearing hilariously gruesome t-shirts, then do the natural thing and head over to glorpgum.com and enter in the promo code I'mABroLever. That's going to get you 15% off any purchase over $20. That's I'mABroLever. I''M space A space B R O LIEVER. Glorp.
I'm just excited. We had some crazy news, longer than usual, but it's been a crazy week. So Taylor, without further ado, take it away, my friend.
All right, here we go, boys. The 1998 Denver Broncos were arguably the second best team to play the game of gridiron football. Eric Cartman's supposed father, John Elway, retired after defeating the Atlanta Falcons with an upset victory in Super Bowl 33. It was one of the darkest of days. That year, they made history by unveiling one of the smoothest and most stylish uniform combinations to be worn on the field. What? They would go on to inspire teams to dump the old, trashy, old-school garments and to join them in the quest for improved fashion on the field. Now, the home of the fabled football Broncos is a large city just outside of South Park, Colorado. Some of you may know it as Denver, Colorado, as do I. So, a couple fun facts about Denver, Colorado for you, okay? The first arrest for marijuana was actually in Denver, Colorado, October 2nd, 1937. Kind of ironic since they're leaders in marijuana reform.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Wearing a Peyton Manning number 18 jersey to school will get you kicked out of school.
What?
Yeah. Apparently, if you wear any jersey of any type that has the number 13, 14, 18, 31, 41, or 81, you will be sent home. Because it's like supposed gang affiliation. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, apparently there's like a gang 13, gang 14, gang 18. I don't know how that correlates to gangs, but
hey,
there are gangs out there.
It correlates back to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from that movie, The Gridiron.
Everyone on his team had one of these numbers. It's like, these numbers will be not spoken of. Dude, in 2005, Denver officials, I don't know if it's the police, whoever, Denver officials started taking people's dogs away that resembled pit bulls. What? And they were euthanizing them. What? Like on a mass scale. Yeah, like just fucking taking dogs that seem to be like pit bulls. Like how many dogs do you know of that look similar to a pit bull, but it's not a pit bull? A shit ton.
I know
none?
Wait.
What are you talking about? None.
You're saying a specific
Johnny
species?
was just trying to pick the best answer.
No, I don't.
the major populace.
No.
And we're like,
You're defending Denver.
A dog
No?
resembles a pit bull besides a pit bull.
A bunch of mixed breeds from the pound, bro.
Oh, you're talking about
man.
purebred. You're talking about like a mix of
Johnny
pit bull.
only buys purebreds.
No, I'm just saying at a certain point, every single mutt is going to have, but talking about a pit bull terrier mix is going to, duh.
It's gonna look like a pit bull. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a dominant
maybe
trait.
I'm just dumb.
Dominant as fuck. Yeah, you've seen them carrying around those chains. Those dominate.
DMX.
They dominate. So
You're the
there's
dog.
actually a small town in the center of Denver that only has 8 residents somehow.
What?
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
Some weird shit going on.
The fabled Casa Bonita from South Park is real, and it has cliff divers, and it's located in Denver. That's kind of cool. The cheeseburger was invented by Louis Ballast at Humpty Dumpty Drive-In in 1935, and a copyright was awarded.
Are you just naming
That's in
naming
Denver.
facts that are from Denver?
Not only facts, but fun facts. From Denver.
Holy shit.
All right, proceed.
So, Colorado itself is home to over 1,000 mountain peaks that are at least 2 miles high. And as you know, Denver is the mile-high city because it is exactly 1 mile above sea level.
Very familiar.
So that's a lot of landmass above sea level to be working with there. And there are 45,000 square feet of known underground tunnels and buildings that are an abandoned missile silo.
Whoa.
In Denver. 45,000 square feet. Fucking crazy. So, all this fun fact groundwork and awesome John Elway, fun facts. It's laying the groundwork for this nice yellow brick road that's going to take us to today's topic, Johnny.
All right.
A topic that I think you're going to like, since you're an aviation nut.
I'm
It's
not
in
an
the
aviation
blood.
nut. I'm not.
All the listeners know that you're the resident aviation guy.
I'm not.
Boat guy, car guy. They voted. You're a boat guy, bro.
My
You're
grandfather and
boat
older
guy,
brother
you're a plane
have
guy.
their pilot. Whatever.
You're a car guy.
So 2 people in your immediate family are pilots?
Or have had their. My older brother's a pilot. My grandpa had his pilot's license way back when. But
Nick, are you related to any pilots?
I am not, Taylor.
I'm not related to any pilots, so you are awarded the aviation guy.
Thank you so much.
So
All right, well.
The point of today's podcast, Johnny, is the Denver International Airport. Airport.
I've been there a good number of times.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Actually, fun fact: Johnny and I have been there. Nope, that's a lie. God, I'm just not on it
What
today.
do you mean? What's a lie?
I thought we.
You don't want to be
together.
confused.
We have been there.
We have been there. I bought my hat there.
You bought your hat there.
I bought my
Was
first,
that the Denver International Airport, or was that the Stapleton Airport?
It was the Denver International Airport.
Pretty sure it was a national airport.
Whoa. You guys made it out alive. All right.
Wait. Is it not just a normal airport? Maybe I haven't been to the national airport.
Yeah, no, we have. No, you're right.
Yeah, there's two main airports in Denver. They're like literally right next to each other, which is odd.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Denver International Airport was built in 1995. It covers over 35,000 acres, which is 53 square miles. And it is the second largest airport in the world, or the third, depending on who you're talking to about airport size.
I don't think that's the one we went to, Nick, because the biggest one I know is, I'm pretty sure, like JFK or LaGuardia in New York. And
we went. I got our Gosling photo there.
Really? Are you sure it's that one?
Yeah.
Well, then I've been to the airport probably over 20 times in my life.
Dang, dude. So maybe you're one of them.
I used to, I know. We used to go snowboarding in a couple different peaks in Colorado, specifically in Eagle, Steamboat, and Vail. And I guarantee I know that airport better than I know the Nashville airport where I go to now.
Well, we're about to find out how well you know this airport, aren't we there, Taylor?
We're going to find out. So this airport, it's bigger than Manhattan. It's bigger than San Francisco. It's bigger than Miami. And it is double the size of the next largest in the U.S. That's fucking huge.
That can't be possible.
Right? Why not?
Because I've never known... For me, I've never known Denver to be that big. The Denver airport. I've known Chicago. I've known LaGuardia, JFK. I've known like Burbank.
Give me an example.
Very astute comment, Johnny, and I'm glad you say that.
Those are huge airports that are bigger than Chicago. Oh, like Midway, which is Chicago O'Hare. That's bigger than Denver.
Yeah, you hear those airports names all the time. Like people are flying there all the time.
They're way bigger than Denver.
People aren't saying, yeah, I laid over in the Denver International Airport or the Stapleton Airport. Either one.
Are you telling me this underground Denver airport?
It doesn't exist.
What? Then how's it bigger?
I'm just joking. It exists.
Wait. So
what we're talking about, it's massive, dude.
It's so big because underground?
It's so big. No, I mean, we're like, well, big airport, who cares? Whatever. They're in the Midwest. It's near Texas. They build shit big, right? I don't know. The big deal is that Denver already had an international airport that was very efficient, very well known, and very well used, and it's still in operation today. And that airport was only 6 miles away from downtown Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do they don't need another one. On top of that, they went over budget on this new Denver International Airport by $2 billion.
A lot of money.
Like, what? And the Stapleton Airport, which is the one that's just outside of Denver, is not even in the top 5, as you just, recognized. It's not even in the top 5 busiest airports in the U.S. So if there aren't people flying to Denver or even laying over in Denver, why do we need 2 massive airports, one being the second largest in the fucking world?
I don't know.
It's fucking weird, man.
That's weird.
What's really weird about this is that tons of people are reporting some eerie and odd things that go on in this airport.
I've heard bad things.
Very bad things. Apparently, there are random locked doors, like, everywhere around this place. And, like, you've been to an airport, and there's plenty of doors that we can't go through, so we just walk by these doors
well, you
and assume that these doors
can't,
are
but
just...
me and my aviation knowledge, I can get through any door I want.
You can probably just visualize in 3D where these doors go, because you have an advanced knowledge of the schematics of general airport functionality.
Listen, Johnny can fly on the standby list, all right? That's how important he is.
I go up to the jetway and I say, hey, I'm a non-rev pass rider. I'm eligible as a pilot. I'm going to go onto the concourse. I'm going to go right into the jetway, right into the to the airplane. I'm going to fly this plane.
Hi, my name is Johnny Clark. My brother is a fucking pilot, so you let me on this flight to Beijing. I want to go see Cher in concert.
It's okay. My brother's a plane driver.
Oh my gosh!
I have proof. Look at a Snapchat.
No, that's crazy. So you're saying there's like paranormal shit going on in Denver?
Not necessarily paranormal shit. It's just unexplained stuff. Like all these doors, any of these public places, there are doors that are like, I wonder where that goes. But there are apparently a ton of doors that no one has access to. No one knows where they go. Obviously, people know people know, but it's unexplained where these things lead. there is actually a morgue on site, and which there are no other morgues in any other airport. There's not a morgue in any other airport.
There's a morgue?
A morgue, an actual morgue. Now, it's common. Somebody would argue, like, yeah, they would have a morgue in there because, when somebody dies overseas or they die in a place they don't live, they have to ship the body where they want to get it shipped, So maybe a morgue would make sense to have, but every other airport does that. They don't put them in a morgue. They don't store them at the airport.
Right, they don't put them on ice.
Hello,
yeah,
International
exactly,
Airport's morgue. You kill him, we chill him. You stab him, we slap him.
In February of 2007, 14 passenger planes' windshields were shattered unexplainably within a 2-hour period while just sitting on the tarmac or whatever. Unexplained. Nobody knows why. Crazy. Odd things happening all the time. 14 planes, all in a 2-hour period.
Oh, 2-hour period?
A 2-hour period, yeah. So no big explosions, no weird weather. Nobody knows what it was. Maybe something weird and atmospheric, maybe, I guess. But that doesn't happen all the time, so what the hell?
Planes at cruising altitude, like 30,000 feet, it's common to run into, like, birds, to run into, extreme rain, hail, like things that are hard masses in the air, and those don't shatter shit.
Right. So what in the world?
Godzilla.
Godzilla! Definitely.
Not only that, nearby towns are reporting, multiple reports of loud explosions that are unexplained or earthquake-type movements that are unexplained and not, talked about in the news. But they feel them all the time.
That sounds like Godzilla. Earthquakes,
So, a nearby landfill, close to this airport, is reported to be receiving truckloads of dirt on a constant basis, like a daily basis. And these truckloads of dirt are coming from the airport. Constantly, truckloads of dirt, boom, coming from the airport, going to this landfill, being filled up. And you ask yourself, what the fuck are you talking about? Why? Who cares? What? So that would mean, you think they're building something under the airport? What, dude?
Huh.
So it is no secret that underground structures do indeed exist.
Oh, yeah.
As it has been verified by Denver airport officials that during the construction, there were actually 5 large buildings that were built. And apparently those were built in, like, the wrong location, wrong orientation. And instead of tearing them down and demolishing them, they were ordered to be buried. Which is like, what?
What?
Buried? I mean, I guess they're already, somewhat underground. I mean, they're starting to build something from the bottom up. So it's obviously already underground in some way.
That's weird, though.
Yeah. So, like, it's... But like, think about that cover-up. Like, you can't start building something without putting a dome over it or something, and without everybody knowing, So they start building something. There's 5 visible buildings to the public. They can see these things. And they're like, oh, no, they're wrong. So we're going to cover them up with dirt. And they continue building on top of them. Like, what? That seems like a perfect, a perfect cover-up for, they can start from that point. Like, there's known buildings down there now, so the public has no reason to be like, well, that's weird that there would be buildings underground, because they're verified,
Mm-hmm.
But that's just so fucking weird. And the airport claims that they're still in use today as, storage facilities.
I mean, this all sounds weird, but I don't think it's, the whole idea of, unexplained. Like, in my mind, a locked door, that's weird. Planes, in a 2-hour period, that sounds like a coincidence,
Okay,
but it doesn't, to me, it's not, crazy enough for me to be like, there's something going on,
Well, I feel like the truckloads of dirt is and with the verified fact that there is underground structures, and that you would assume that there's going to be underground structures at any of these big-ass places.
Sure.
There's going to be some underground stuff. But the truckloads of dirt, it makes me think, what? They're constantly building. This shit was built in 1995, man. That was a long time ago.
So they're expanding or doing something underground that we just don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea. And one of the big things about this airport, when it was going to be launched, it had an underground baggage system that was supposed to be revolutionary. And it was going to be used in other airports, It was going to prove the concept here, use it in other airports. It was going to be this completely underground, baggage system that, delivers your bags to the carousel or whatever. In some way, that's different than the way it's done now. It was a massive failure at launch. It never worked right. They could never get it fixed right. But they did have it in operation until 2005. And in 2005, They shut it down completely. Shut it down permanently. Another massive underground space that the public knows about. Shut down. Public officials say it's also being used for storage.
Weird.
Weird.
I think I know what happened.
Oh, all right. What's up?
I think this is what happened. 2005, let's say, maybe prior, when they were building this underground luggage system, workers, I don't know how many, but they died. Whether a collapse or some kind of cavity, something fell on them, they're dead, right? They built that morgue because it was a common occurrence that workers would die. But these workers weren't just dead. They were apparitions. They were spirits. And they started fucking with things. So there's doors that aren't locked, not only because these spirits are fucking with them, but there's people there that know the secret and they will not disclose the information. Furthermore, these spirits have had some kind of prior knowledge to, obviously, the Denver airport, so they know how to fuck with things, i.e. the planes. I think that's all we need. Yeah. And the truckloads of dirt can be explained by, let's say, they're excavating more stuff. They're trying to do more things, maybe to appease the spirits, maybe do something that'll make everything better, because I mean, that's the only way I can validate it.
That's weird though. Like if they were, spirit-based things or somebody that died, like why would they want the morgue? Wouldn't they just like get rid of the body or burn the body or something? Why would they want to save it for some short amount of time?
You got me.
You know?
I don't know.
That's weird. And if that many people were dying, like, dude, how many people died in the construction of the Hoover Dam? I mean, it was a good bit, I guess, but not enough to like justify a morgue on site.
Right.
You know?
All right, I'm lost for words. All right, continue.
So maybe this location is being prepared for a monumental catastrophe. Maybe that all this work being done underground is for like a bomb shelter type idea, right? In fact, in 2011, when Comet Elenin was supposedly on a trajectory to come like dangerously close to Earth, I read a bunch of different numbers on how close it was going to get to Earth. I'll say the dumbest one that I found, which was 22 miles.
That's in our atmosphere.
That didn't happen. I know for a fact that didn't happen.
Very wrong.
I don't know. It is very wrong. Radically wrong. I don't know how close it came, or if it even came close at all, or if our deep impact plan, or I guess Armageddon plan worked.
Bruce Willis fixed it all.
Yeah, I guess it was deep impact. We'd know it. We'd be screwed.
Deep Impact, great movie.
So in 2011, when this comet was like dangerously close to hitting the Earth, or so they thought, just so happened Barack Obama, the president at the time, in Denver. Weird. So
interesting.
Even if it was a bomb shelter, even if it was a place for like the elite, to go and to be in a safe space, whatever, no big deal. There has to be places like that.
Did you just hear? Did you just hear what you just said?
Yeah. Whoa.
A bomb shelter. Bomb.
Oh,
Obama shelter. What?
Did you just connect every necessary dot? Holy shit. Listeners, the code has been cracked.
I think we figured it out. We definitely figured it out. So you're saying
code has been cracked.
They're building this underground structure for a possible bomb.
Yeah, or like for,
just like
when the singularity happens and Skynet takes over.
Maybe it's just like Denver, like people being super paranoid about like Skynet, and so like, man, we got to make this underground passageway, man, in case somebody like bombs us, we'll have a place to go.
And they sound stunned. What they did?
Yeah,
they're just so high.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like they're
no,
paranoid.
man. Yeah, well, that's just not out of the ordinary. They're everyone thinks that there are bomb shelters, or there are at least places that are selected where the government can go and be safe. We just don't know where those are. I mean, Hitler obviously had the exact same space. You got to think that every government has a place like that. Oddly enough, the Queen of England has purchased property adjacent to this airport. That's kind of weird.
That's really bizarre. Why would she pick Denver? I feel like that's like, if there's a place to be in America that's American, I feel like it's more New York.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Apparently, Denver, Colorado in general is just like insanely beautiful, and like the nature there is unreal.
I can attest that it's beautiful, but like in my mind, if I wanted to go somewhere that's safe, I don't know. Maybe you're right. I guess you're right,
dude. We're talking 45,000 square.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or how many? I listed a stat earlier that was talking about how many the mountain ranges that are there. It's the most mountainous part of the country, like by a long shot. It's one of the most mountainous pieces of the world.
Well, the Rockies are, aside from the Alps, the Rockies are like substantially crazy.
Yeah.
You can't drive
very
through
steep.
Denver going to Hayden and not run into at least 4 or 5 peaks, talking Winter Park, talking Vail, talking Steamboat, talking, there's so many. Breckenridge,
I'm no bomb shelter designer, but, and classically in movies and stuff, bomb shelters are in the side of a mountain or something like that.
Yeah, which is a safe
at least
place.
they are in Terminator. Yeah, safe place. There's all this whatever, hard rock, it's hard rock to protect you from whatever the fuck's going on, But, what if these dangers that they're protecting themselves from, what if they're not unknowns? What if they're not unknown randoms? What if they do have information of actual shit that's going to happen, like an actual world disaster? They aren't telling us. Well, based on some of the extreme artwork seen in this airport, some people believe that these works were commissioned to deliver information to those willing to look and listen. Apparently, there is insane artwork all over this airport. And if you guys were there, you probably caught a glimpse of it.
No, there's tons from like an old fertilizing aircraft. It was like a single-seater, single-prop engine, like Cessna kind of looking thing that was engraved. There's a whole bunch of really cool architecture and artwork in this airport. I just thought it was like a modern, like it's just cool art.
Yeah, well, when somebody asks that question, about artwork that you see in an airport, an aviation guy would point out, oh, they have this plane from 1947. They have this other plane. They have this stuff.
Oh,
but like normal people like me and Nick, who aren't the aviation experts,
fuck off.
we'd be looking at different kinds of art. We're talking about paintings and sculptures at this point, and we're just gonna highlight just a couple of them. Like one of the weird ones I thought is just odd. Aside from the fact that it's kind of cool, there's like apparently this small statue and maybe there's a few of them that look like this, but it's like a gargoyle like popping out of a suitcase.
Yeah, the gargoyles, man.
There's gargoyles.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, bro.
Kind of cool, but that's like, I don't know how symbolic that is, but that's kind of a weird thing to have in an airport, a demon popping out of a suitcase. Maybe it's like subconsciously saying, don't smuggle drugs. I don't know.
Or that your kids are demons.
I mean, yeah, demon, whatever's in your luggage is demon. Possessions are demons? Yeah.
Your kids.
Here in the Nashville airport, all we got's a bunch of records on the wall.
Yeah, a couple guitars. And
records and old banjos. Elvis was here.
And guitars. We got tons of guitars, but no gargoyles.
Well, dude, you've had to have seen a picture of this, Johnny. I know Nick has, because we've talked about it on several occasions about how dope this shit is. I would get it tattooed on me, honestly. It's that fucking cool looking. So, I believe it's amongst the runway system here at some point. It's not like in a logical place. It's in a weird place, like amongst the runways, which, by the way, apparently look like they're in the shape of a swastika.
Whoa.
That's a side story. That's a side story. Oh. But, so there's this statue. They call it Blucifer.
Oh.
Now,
oh boy.
Have you heard of Blucifer, Johnny?
Is Blucifer?
Blucifer. That's the name of the statue. Yeah.
Is it like a old Roman, or like a horse? What is this?
It is a horse, dude. It's a 32-foot statue of a horse. It's blue. It is, you could describe it as an undead zombie horse.
Really?
It's got glowing red eyes.
Like that actually light up.
What?
Actually
lit up.
Yeah.
And it stands up on its hind legs, as like a horse, neighs or whatever. And dude, it's like veins popping out over the shit. Its muscles are like crazy looking. Like it looks like so demonic and badass. It's insane. The mane looks so metal. It's black. It's so fucking tight. Like it is a tight statue. Why the fuck though? It looks like a demon, man. If you looked at this thing, women and children would run in fear.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of dudes.
That's why they call it Blucifer.
Maybe
Blucifer.
Wait, Taylor, tell him what happened to the man who made it.
Dude, Johnny, listen to this shit.
Okay.
Dude, it's crazy. It's a seriously evil piece of art. Louis Jimenez, the creator, was killed when the 9,000-pound horse's head fell on him, lacerating an artery in his leg.
The 9,000-pound head?
The horse is 9,000 pounds.
Oh, okay.
But the 9,000-pound horse
head
has a head. It fell off, dude. And the mane of this thing, it's a jagged-looking mane, as one would imagine a very dead metal horse looking like. Dude, yeah, fell on him, stabbed him in the leg, and I guess, severed an artery, and he just died, dude.
Pretty poetic, I guess, because, the artwork kills the artist. That's weird.
I don't know. I don't like poetry that much.
Well, so have you ever considered that the Denver Broncos play a role in this? It's a horse. There's a horse statue. I'm pretty sure their colors are orange and blue. Maybe?
They are orange and blue. That's good. I don't have any info to connect those two things, but you just did it, and fuck yeah, bravo.
That could be it. I think that could be a.
No,
aside.
There's nothing orange on this Bronco.
Yeah, there's nothing orange on it.
And it's
it
not
is
a Bronco,
blue.
it's a Mustang.
It's a Mustang, yeah, which is it's definitely different than a Bronco.
Yeah.
That's what I'm close to.
We got a horse guy here.
But if you're going to make a Denver Broncos statue, it'd be of John Elway. I mean, that's just what it is.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. But aside from that,
he retired after winning Super Bowl 33, and he's also Eric Carmen's father.
I have to say,
Supposedly.
I've been pretty quiet on my end because I have been trying so damn hard
Horde? Like horde?
hard to connect this blue Mustang and what's underneath the Denver International Airport, even though we haven't talked about
wait, is there
some other stuff yet. I've been trying to connect this shit to Bohemian Grove for like the last 15
I
minutes.
had that same thought.
I've been
Nick,
connected.
Nick, you just wait, because the connections have been made.
Are you kidding me?
Not
Okay.
fucking kidding. This is a Bohemian Grove episode, people. It really is.
What the fuck? I swear to God, I was thinking about it.
Dude, this is so Bohemian Grove. It blew my mind when I was researching it. I was like, because I've researched this topic before, and I didn't have, I'd heard of Bohemian Grove and done a little bit of research
you
in
have
it.
the knowledge.
But I didn't have the knowledge, yeah. But now having the knowledge that Nick delivered to us, when I was reading this stuff, I was like, holy shit. We're talking about the same fucking thing. This is fucking crazy, dude.
That's crazy.
So some people would say that this Mustang statue represents the fourth horseman of the apocalypse or whatever. I don't know enough biblical references to not verify that, but it is a horse, and it does seem apocalyptic. And the number 4 is very round, so that, I don't know, it makes sense to me. But, the Bohemian Grove, they talked about, New World Order this, New World Order that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Some of the other artwork in this fucking place seemingly depicts the existence of a New World Order and some event that takes place in the future, maybe the near future, maybe the distant future. We're going to find out. But there is a series of 3 murals, specifically, tons of murals in this place that seem to be symbolic, but we're going to focus on these 3 because they're all in the same style, and they are obviously 3 different phases of the same message. Now, the first painting in this series is basically centered on a kind of like a German-looking soldier dude with a gas mask on, with a really evil-looking face on the gas mask, so this dude's evil. Looks like a German soldier. He wields a giant sword and an AK-47.
Weird combo.
Now, what's that?
It's a weird combo.
It is a weird combo. I mean, I don't think you need the sword if you got the AK. But
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, well, one's meant for close quarters. The other one's like an inaccurate assault rifle.
What I took from this painting, I'll describe a little bit more. From what I took from it is the sword is there to sever ties from this element and that element, just like it.
Oh.
To change a way of thinking, I would say.
Isn't there a rainbow in it too?
Yeah, there's a rainbow, and I think that's what it's severing. So there's a rainbow that kind of trails across the top of the painting from the left, and as it approaches the soldier, it fades away, and the way it fades away, like the way it's represented on there, it makes you think that it is the trail of the sword, and then the trail, which is colorless after it reaches the sword, trails on to a group of children who are sleeping in rubble underneath this soldier. And it's almost like this child is dreaming this clear path that eventually goes and turns into a rainbow. On the right side of the painting, there are demolished and burning buildings that are on fire, obviously caused by this, soldier-looking dude. On the left side, there is a trail of grown-ups. There's children in there too. One's holding a baby, so I don't know. But there's a line of people walking away as if they look sick. They look like they're decrepit. They look weak. But they're walking away kind of like a trail of tears type thing. And on the tip of the sword is a upside down dove. representing no peace, I guess. Dove is the symbol of peace. But I thought it was weird that there were children still left. I was having trouble trying to decipher this on its own as just one painting. But it has something to do with, obviously, a biological agent. And this guy has a mask on. And he's got the mask. Burning buildings, blah, 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 blah. Something has to do with these little children. Who knows what it is? Maybe there's an age that, like, whatever's going to happen, people under this age have, like, they have this immunity, or maybe they've been given an immunity.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Not sure what that means. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird. And moving on to the second painting in the series.
Wait, isn't there, on that painting, isn't there like a letter or something on it too?
That's actually in the second painting.
Okay.
I believe, yeah. One of the people in the second painting is holding like what appears to be a Mayan script.
Well, so in the bottom right of the first painting with the rainbow and the sword, on the bottom right, there's like just a piece of paper, like a letter that's just sitting.
Ah, yeah, I didn't even like notice that. So that, I mean, now that you say that, that echoes that this may be a message of some sort. There's a note there.
Shit.
It's like a hint as like, oh, this is a message. And to me, it seems like this series of paintings is exactly that, a message, possibly an illustration of like, this is going to happen, heads up. It's pretty fucking weird. That one's obviously destruction caused by whatever this soldier-looking thing is. He's destroying peace. Whatever the rainbow represents is being destroyed. And whatever that is also supposed to be embodied in these young children who, I guess in the future, will figure out how to make that rainbow, come about again. Whatever that's supposed to represent. And the second painting is a group of young children again, different ethnicities, all different ethnicities, gathered around 3 coffins. In those coffins are people of different ethnicities. And surrounding those coffins are like random dead animals. There's like a jaguar, there's like a turtle, there's a whale, a couple of random things that seem to be dying. In the background, there is like a raging fire of like, it appears to me like it's a city on fire in the distance, a row of trees all on fire. Oddly enough, though, in this picture, there are 3 birds, very, very pretty looking birds compared to the rest of the scene. And the birds are being held in these clear prism type cubes that a couple of the children are holding, which is really weird. And they each have like a little plaque on these things, but they're so small, I can't read them. I guess you have to go to the airport to see it. And that's how they get you, because they kill you when you get there. But but this artwork is fucking weird. But aside from the trees burning, one thing that I note about this piece of art is that there's a bunch of flowers in it that are very vibrant. And the birds that are being kept in these prisms are also very vibrant. In my mind, it is trying to say that something's going to happen and that these young people are going to have to accept these like horrific things that will happen. And they're going to have to figure out how to move on. And it seemed like these birds in the prisms, like there's some kind of like a preservation kind of thing.
Weird.
But it's weird to me because I think they're the only 3 birds in the picture and then the only things in prisms. So I'm not sure what the connection to that is. But one of the little girls in this painting is holding, in my opinion, it looks like an old like map that shows weather patterns. Like, like an old map, like they would illustrate strong winds by a cloud with a face blowing wind.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I think I see on this map. Other people describe it as a Mayan tablet. I'm going to say that's not a Mayan tablet. I'm going to say it is a map depicting weather patterns, which would seemingly be a natural disaster. Who knows? There's no hint of war or like a soldier in this one. Kind of weird.
So,
but the idea of the prism echoes the rainbow in some way. As rainbows are created through prisms and whatnot.
Okay.
Now the third painting in the series is basically that same soldier from the first one is lying dead, obviously dead, and instead of one dead dove, there are now 2 live doves sitting next to his dead body. In the center, very oddly, very strangely, there is what appears to be a young Bavarian boy or German boy wielding a hammer, and he seems to be the centerpiece here, and he is surrounded by children of all different ethnicities, and all these children are surrendering to him weapons, and these weapons are like wrapped in the country's flag.
Okay.
Very weird.
Like an annihilation kind of thing where like one country takes over.
Yeah, I guess you could take it that way. But what's weird is that, the big soldier is dead and this young boy wielding this weird hammer, like he's the hammer. He's, I guess, the decision maker, the decider, the great decider, the boss man.
Why can't you just understand the fact that the soldier died for the cause and then that now the nation, young or old, is taking it over?
That's the way I'm perceiving it, yeah. So it seems to have these 2 separate meanings. If you want to look at it real innocently, you could say, oh, there's this young blonde-haired boy here, and all these nations are surrendering their weapons. We're giving up weapons.
Aryan.
And it's almost like this child's wielding a hammer, so maybe he's destroying the weapons? Not quite sure. There seems to be an anvil and some confusing things in front of him that if you want to be artistic, you could be like, okay, he's smashing these weapons. Smashing them into smithereens on this anvil. Maybe that's the case. So maybe it's supposed to represent an old German soldier and an old German thought. And I don't want to say German, like just pinning things on Germans here. I'm just saying that's what we reference, World War II and the evilness, whatever.
They look Aryan, though.
They look Nazi. Yeah, this boy looks Aryan, for sure. Okay. And he's wearing clothes that are Bavarian garb, I guess. Like traditional young boy garb that they would wear. So you could say, yeah, this older way of thinking is dead, and this young boy who is of the same descent is going to fix it. He's going to make it right. There's peace. Like this painting is obviously it represents peace. The rainbow is going right across the top. Not sure what that rainbow means, but it's back. So pretty weird. So if you take all 3 of these paintings together, it seems to mean, in one way, you could say, it starts with all this destruction. The middle one has something to do with peace and harmony with nature. And the third one has something to do with overcoming all of that. And the youth of the world will make things right,
And what you're proposing is that this has to do with, obviously, the excavation of underneath Denver, the anomalies with the doors, the explosion, and the idea that a world-ending Armageddon is somehow related to the Denver airport.
Exactly. So the other way you can take these paintings is that there is biological warfare that happened in the first painting. In the second painting, the surviving children who were asleep in the first painting, maybe they're asleep because they're unaware of what had happened.
Or not born yet.
Yeah, they were not born yet. They weren't capable of understanding. So in this second painting, they have to unify with nature, do things the natural way that anyone would if there was not all these outside controlling forces. They have to unify, make these decisions, purify nature, protect nature. And in the third one, it's like by doing so, they have somehow overcome this greed and power struggle, that is, the old way of thinking or whatever. So in essence, there is a biological warfare that happens, and the people that are left have to use maybe the instructions that were given, maybe the instructions on whatever tablet this chick was holding, the paper that the girl was holding. They have to use some information from the past to figure out how to keep going. So, this points to this underground bomb shelter, if you will, being built to protect somebody from a biological weapon that is maybe not just feared to happen, but is going to happen. Like, it is for sure going to happen at some point.
So,
kind of weird.
That's insane. What the Nazis too, with the whole New World stuff that you brought up earlier. I looked it up, and that little letter in the first painting, it's a letter written by a girl in a concentration camp. It's a poem.
So here's
I wonder what the poem says.
Does it say, Nick?
So that could probably help us decipher this poem, or the painting, I wonder.
It does say, uno momento.
Okay, so if I may, this is going to sound real dickish. I like the way you're going on this, Taylor, but in my mind, some artist made this installation of art and just playing with the colors of the winds and said, I'm going to be artsy, which is fine. You know, everything's subjective when it comes to art. And they made these things not like scary, but like depicting an Armageddon. I don't think that's out of this world. I don't think it's a crazy assumption. I don't think it relates to the underground. Maybe two different people.
Oh, dude, you got to see these paintings. Like,
are they crazy?
They're beautiful.
Like they're really colorful and pretty, but like
extremely symbolic, man. They're scary.
The dead animal, there's like literally a girl who's like sobbing in tears, and then behind the girl, there's another little girl holding a tablet with like a woman.
I mean,
whose tongue is connected to a plant.
Like, it feels like the first one would be in a World War II German airport. Like, it's propaganda is what it seems like.
It sounds really crazy, but the same exact artist that did the Obama portrait for his presidency recently is an artist that depicts decapitations and murder and stuff, and it doesn't shy away. I'm not of the mindset that it's impossible for an artist to make scary shit.
All right, here's the letter.
Totally, yeah.
Here's what the letter says. The letter says, I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have known fear. I have learned to hate how tragic then is youth, which lives with enemies with gallows ropes. Yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up a child again and start to laugh and play.
It exactly echoes what we just talked about in the second painting. That they have to figure out, how they know that they got to figure out to do it their own way.
This little girl's letter, she died in a concentration camp.
Right.
Why would an airport, what does any of this have to do with
what does that have to do with an airport?
The idea that an airport is using, not propaganda, but using some kind of imagery that is anything but positive is stupid to me. You know, the Nashville airport just made an installation of, I think it's a bunch of kids or special needs kids, their artwork, and that's great. It's positive. The idea that somebody's putting negative imagery, that is a strike to you, Taylor. That makes a lot of sense.
But it goes deeper. Like Taylor bringing up the
NWO,
the New World Order. I don't know how much you know about the New World Order, Johnny. But
it was started by Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, which later became the Wolf Pack. We talked about it earlier in the podcast, WCW World Championship Wrestling.
Get out of here.
I can't tell what's real, what's fake right now.
Oh, hey, guys. It's just one of your high bros here. I just wanted to pass along a 10% savings at futuremonsters.com. If you're into the Wolfman, if you're into Frankenstein, King Kong, Dracula, you can go to futuremonsters.com and you save yourself 10% on any of the high-quality threads. They got amazing designs on a quality fabric print. I'll tell you right now, I got one last week. It feels really good on my body. If you want to save 10%, put some stuff in your shopping cart, enter into the coupon code. You want to enter in capital HYBRO. That's capital HYBRO. That's Hybro. Capital HYBRO. Get yourself 10% off.
So the New World Order is actually it was founded by like Nazis, right?
No. The New World Order was actually founded by the Knights Templar.
Okay.
So basically Freemasons. So, which brings us to another pretty badass little piece of evidence here.
Bohemian Grove shit there.
Yeah. Dude, when this place was built, 1995, there was like a commemorative plaque, a dedication plaque put in place, like is done in a lot of, big things like that. On this plaque, it says that this airport was commissioned by the New World Airport Commission.
It doesn't fucking exist.
It doesn't exist. That commission does not exist. It's not a real thing. Yet it says it on this plaque. New World Airport Commission. And on the same plaque, it's got a time capsule apparently buried right beneath it that says it shall be opened in the year 2094, which would be approximately 100 years. It'd be 99 years from when it was placed there. There's a lot of weird information that tries to take the date and like add it up to 33 and be like, oh, it's 33, so it's like this devilish number, and they use all this shit in the New World Order, blah, 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 blah. Oddly enough, there is another plaque nearby that mentions Mount Blaka. Mount Blaka is where the Knights Templar signed their doctrine announcing that they are gathering to form a new world order. Like,
Uh-huh.
what? So you
It's
have
really
two
weird.
plaques here. One of them saying the New World Airport Commission, which doesn't exist. Another
Yeah.
plaque nearby talking about Mount Blanca, which is where the Knights Templar, a.k.a. Freemasons, gathered to form, right there in plain English, New World Order.
But
Not-
it goes deeper than that. That's
It
the
goes
crazy
so
part.
much deeper than that.
I can't
On the
explain- I can't
dedication
explain
plaque
it.
itself, Johnny, on the dedication plaque, there is a Freemason sign front and center, bud. It's
Yep.
the G
Oh my God.
with the compass ruler, whatever it is, compass square shit.
Yeah.
Right
And
there on it.
In between that G and the dedication to the New World Airport Commission, there is a date, March 19th, 1994. 1 + 1 + 1 + 9 + 4 is 33.
It's 33, dude.
That's the highest level you can achieve in Freemasonry, bro.
Dog, what?
Level up.
and March, what
It's the
number
third.
month is March?
Number 3.
3.
So month 3 and then 33. 333. And
That's
apparently
too many
the 333 is reoccurring in Masonic symbolism ever. And not only Masonic symbolism, but like satanic worship symbolism, all kinds of religious shit. Mainly anti-religious shit, I guess. One of the
can't explain it,
craziest pieces of this shit, this is where all the connections are made.
Oh shit.
Okay?
Oh god. Hang on. I gotta readjust. I need my both my feet planted for this, Taylor.
Just my body.
Now this
Johnny's
one,
Johnny's standing
Yeah.
right
By the way,
now.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if listeners, if you can see me right now in space,
Hands on
but
hip?
I'm standing right now because I can't sit anymore. I physically like this is crazy information. This is like the fake Paul episode. I need to stand.
now, you might want to sit down for this, Johnny. I don't know.
All right, viewers.
so-
I am sitting down.
All right, sit down.
I'm currently sitting down.
Oh boy.
So what we got here is another plaque on the floor, etched into the floor. It's in marble, and then these shapes and letters are outlined in like a copperish gold type thing, as
How
you
many
would
plaques are there?
see. There's plaques all over this place, apparently. But this plaque seems to resemble like a mining cart. It's the outline of a mining cart, and inside of that mining cart are the symbols AU, and next to it AG. Now,
Isn't that
an
for
astute
gold
person
and silver?
like you, yeah, you would say, oh, that's gold and silver because it's inside of a mining cart, right? I mean, Colorado is like it was fabled for, its mining. It has a rich mining history. What's weird about this, one of the founders of the airport, okay, who I believe his name is on that New World Airport Commission plaque, one of the founders also discovered what is apparently the most deadly strain of hepatitis known to man. Right? What is the name of this strain, you ask?
33.
That'd be cool. In some way, maybe it relates to 33.
Damn it,
maybe,
Johnny.
maybe we take all these letters and add them up. Maybe it somehow adds up. I don't know. But this strain is called Australia antigen,
Oh, wow.
or AUAG.
Hmm.
What the fuck?
So it's like they're not commemorating the minecart for gold and silver. They're commemorating it for. That's weird.
They're saying Australia antigen. That's what they're saying. And some people have theorized that in that dedication plaque, in the time capsule that's to be opened in 2094,
It's a
some
cure.
people say that there's either a cure or the biological weapon itself,
I think I'll be dead by
or
then, right?
some information to use, going forward.
Well, that would explain all the locked doors.
What?
Like, there's some higher power that's not letting people through because not higher power. Like, there's some people like Bohemian Grove that aren't letting people
Yeah,
through.
the New World Order.
Because in there are like the rooms for like stings or for surveillance, and those places are like not allowed via keys.
I mean, they've been continuously building this underground since 1995. It's possible that this place it's not. It has to be massive. This place is probably huge, dude. And if there was a global or even just a national biological crisis, like biological warfare was real, and like, let's just say it was like a Black Plague or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you best believe those people would be going in that bunker and locking the fucking doors.
Hell yeah.
So there would have to be space. That, in my mind, that's what they're doing. They're building under the airport a secure bunker to where people like Barack Obama
Kind of become
and The Rock, they can go when the shit does hit the fan.
But what if this,
we're not forgetting about Tom Hanks. Yeah, he's his running mate, so Tom Hanks too.
Definitely.
What if this goes back to like, we talked in the Bohemian Grove episode about like they meet at Bohemian Grove and they basically plan out how things are going to happen and what's going to happen in the year to come. So they meet for the 3 weeks. They plan out what's going to happen. The one cabin is like the media people. Another cabin's the politicians. Another cabin are the money deciders, the accountants. Another are the tax people. Another are the money people, whatever. And they all figure out, okay, the next year is going to pan out like this, and this is how it's going to play.
Right.
What if they do think ahead so far as 2094 and they say, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to plan this terrible thing. We're going to start it 2 years before. And then we're going to wipe the population, most of the population out. And then we're going to unbury this cure.
Like extermination kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Nick, that's exactly the proposal.
Holy
here.
fuck,
That's exactly it. Because not only that, like, when you start thinking of the Bohemian Grove stuff as, man, they're talking about population control. A lot of the stuff that they talked about in that the intro ceremony that you talked about in that episode.
Cleansing and stuff?
Yeah, man, they're talking about global cleansing. They're talking about being one with nature, and treating nature right. Totally echoing what was in that second picture.
This is fucked up.
It's weird is a lot of people have connected and they think that these two things are related. Or these three things now. We've got the Bohemian Grove, we've got the Denver International Airport, and then we'll probably do a full episode on this, but we might as well mention it at this point because they, in my mind, are totally connected, is the Georgia Guidestones. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
No. What?
You guys aren't familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
No.
Taylor, you're like our residential Georgia expert, dude.
You're a Georgia boy.
I'm your Giorgio Tsoukalos. So, in Georgia, there's got to be a full episode on this. Maybe we'll make it like a 30-minute or whatever, but throw a couple facts out here about these Georgia Guidestones. Not sure the year that they were built. I think it was in the 90s or late 80s. An anonymous man who goes by the name of R.C. Christian approached this marble company in Elberton, Georgia, to commission a statue. These statues made completely out of marble. Nobody at this quarry or whatever, company. Never met the guy. I think maybe somebody had met the guy, but it was like an absolute, you're paid to not divulge this information. Like this information's not getting out. It's not like there are a lot of people who knew about who this person was, so it could be covered up. It's not one of those everybody could know, take so many people to cover it up. No, it's like a one person and one other person talked about it. You know what I mean? These stones were built. Basically what it is 4 giant tablets, like 20-something feet tall, that are standing erect, and they're like in a cool little formation. It's not all that cool looking. But on each one, there are 10 new commandments. And they're written in each stone on different languages. And these 10 commandments are fucking crazy, y'all. Like, the first one, which is the most important one, and it seems to point at exactly the purpose of the Denver International Airport and definitely the motives behind these dudes who gather at Bohemian Grove. So the number one is that we must maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So they're proposing that we cap the population at 500 million people.
That's so small.
Yeah, there are currently 7.6 billion people on the planet right now.
Oh my Lord.
500 million is nothing. That's like the population of like New York or even less than that.
What if this is all set up? Like, what if all this stuff is in place and they
It's
can
already
be
in
like,
motion.
it's like going on a website and you get on that website and they're like, accept the terms and conditions. And then like at the very bottom of the terms and conditions, you sign something, someone shows up on your doorstep and says, I'm here to take your kidney. Yeah. And then you wind up having to give your kidney up because you accepted the terms and conditions. What
Didn't
if
realize it?
Like the Denver International Airport exists. It's right in front of our eyes. Bohemian Grove, it's an address on Google Maps. It's a real place. And then you have this Georgia
Guidestones.
What is it? The Georgia Guidestones that have all this, and it's up to us to be like, don't be an idiot. Learn a different language and read all these. And we've set the shit up, and now we're like, boom, we're going to pull the trigger. Like, you guys talk about global warming and stuff. That's dumb. You're just trying to be selfish and figure out how to keep 7.6 billion people on the planet. All along, we've been planning to wipe you out.
Extinction.
And only keep 500 million of you straight up Thanos style.
Yeah.
That's fucked
crazy.
up.
And the rest of the commandments are pretty much talking about guide reproduction wisely, which, I mean, it sounds cruel and crazy, but it's like basically reproduce like Spartans. If they don't fit the bill, they get kicked, kind of thing. Like they get bumped. That's kind of what it's saying here. It's saying like let all nations rule themselves, but then there would be a universal government that decides external conflicts. It says that we would unite humanity with one global language. That's definitely happening already.
Well, that's happening.
Yeah. A person should balance their personal rights with their social duties. I'm a really compassionate person. You guys know that. You guys are compassionate. We love people of all shapes and sizes and orientations, whatever you want to do.
Sure.
We fucking love you. We'll high five you, and we want to fucking hang. But I think what this is saying is that those people who are extreme into personal rights, like I get this, I need this, you have to treat me this way.
Yeah.
They're going to have to start realizing that there is more of a balance. Like that shit is, no, you don't get that.
It's one with your neighbor, not one with yourself.
Exactly. There are social duties that need to be in balance with what you think your personal rights are. And one of the last one on there, number 10, it says, be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature. And then it repeats, leave room for nature. So the first one and the 10th one are definitely saying the same thing. We got too many people in this place. And some people don't like realizing, like, some people, when they realize they're a problem, like when they realize there is a problem, they try and patch it with Band-Aids or try and go left or right instead of recognizing that the wheel is broken and we need to replace the whole wheel. It's not just a spoke, it's the whole thing. And I feel like it's been broken for a long time.
Wow.
Holy shit, dude.
And that's what it seems to say, man. And I haven't really done the research. I guess, when we do the George Guidestone episode, we can do the research on it's in Elberton, Georgia, which is like south of Atlanta. I'm not sure how that relates to the CDC, but obviously the CDC is in Atlanta, and that's total rhymes with, biological warfare. You know what I mean? So maybe there's some purpose for it being in Georgia specifically. Some people have even theorized that Ted Turner did it, but whatever. I don't know.
In my mind, it's hard to validate that, though, because, and this is a hypothetical, if you will, that if, let's say there's a group of people, Bohemian Grove, that say, we need to do this extinction thing, there are people out there that are insane. I'm not going to name names, but people that don't have that opinion and would just kill, it'd be a mass genocide within. And no matter how stronghold Denver's basement is, these tunnels, I have a feeling there's different countries out there that wouldn't be included in the party, and they'd be pretty fucking pissed for this extermination thing. And
they would be.
I just don't think it would go out. I don't think it would work.
Well, I mean, if you're the one orchestrating the plan, you might think differently, or if you were one of those included people. Unknowingly, maybe you are one of those included people. Who knows? 500 million people.
I'm definitely not.
Who knows? Well, let's just say, the Queen of England has purchased land next to the Denver airport. Maybe they've established that specific location is okay, we can build an underground structure that's going to support whatever the threshold number is. Maybe it's not 500 million. Maybe it's this 250 million. Let's just say whatever this number is that okay, we can start anew with this number of people. And once the earth is good, we step back outside and we start following the rules that we're now setting about the reproduction rules, being responsible about that and really capping it off at 500,000 or 500 million. I don't think that is outrageous, to tell you the truth, man. I just don't. I think that is so realistic, it's not even funny.
It's actually scary.
It is scary, yeah. I think it's so real that it's fucking happening. I don't know, man.
Good news is, I'll be dead.
I think that's the biggest thing, is I think this whole population control thing that they're sort of setting up between Bohemian Grove, whatever they're talking about there, the Denver International Airport, whatever's happening there, and then these Guidestones, I think they're probably watching and being man, I mean, for a while, people were just eating wrong shit, wanting to try these crazy new things, and there was a drop in population, and we were doing it on our own. But now it's people are starting to educate themselves and learn more about dietary things and about what cars they're driving and recycling and the environment and all those things. So now it's pushing whatever is hoping that we have 500 million people. They're like, okay, we might have to interfere now.
Right.
That's what's terrifying. But I feel like we're talking about Georgia. We talk about, from left to right, we're talking about, we have Bohemian Grove in California, 1,200 miles away from that, almost a direct line over. 1,200 miles over, we have the Denver International Airport. And now we're talking, down and to the right, we have where the Guidestones are in Georgia. So what if we open up a map and there's more than just these Bohemian Groves and these? I mean, if there's 3 now,
right?
What if there are more? And what if we, pinned them all on a map and they made some sort of image?
Like a lol.
Yeah.
It was like, it spelled out something like 33.
LOL.
Yeah.
Or you start to see some sort of pattern and you're able to predict or figure out, what other sites to look at that may have clues. A lot of people think that these Georgia Guidestones might be related to the plaques in the airport, and they're very cryptic. There's like any of the old, Egyptian monoliths and pyramids and stuff. Just like those things, the Georgia Guidestones are aligned to astrological stuff. It's aligned to stuff in the heavens. You know what I mean? So it seems to be very Freemason. And one of the things about Freemasonry is they seem to give you all the information right up front. Everything they do is in symbols, symbolism, and they put it everywhere. They put it on everything. It's almost like they, the whole time, are wanting to give you the information, and all you have to do is ask. And that's one of the things about being a Freemason is the way to become a Freemason is that you have to ask one. So if your dad was a Freemason, he can't ask you to be in it. He has to wait until you ask him. Yeah, and that's almost symbolic of knowledge. Like, hey, just ask. Ask what the symbol means. It's almost what that seems like to me. And all these symbols are out here readily available to read. They're out there. We just decrypted a bunch of them that are out there in the second largest airport in the world. Maybe they were intending this to be a very busy airport. They thought, okay, it's in the center of the country or so. We'll make this a very populated airport so that people see these symbols and they do talk about it and they do read about it and they really think this shit's true. I don't know.
I think it's just a crazy person. Like someone who just thought all that shit up, but it's not real.
That's a lot of shit to put together though, man.
There are crazier things.
There's definitely something at play here, and you're right. Like it is right in front of you, and it's just like it's all there. Everything is spelled out. I think that's the problem. Is it's I always joke and say this is why we have this podcast, because it's we talk about the things that people aren't talking about and don't want to talk about and think it's dumb to talk about and think it's ridiculous to talk about, but things are placed right in front of you, and no one's like, Bohemian Grove's weird. We should probably dig more and talk about it. Oh, hey, this Freemason symbol's weird. Like, I'm looking right now, the Grand Lodge of Tennessee is the Freemasons, and there's a phone number, and it's just like
to join.
You can do background checks and stuff. Johnny, you want to become a Freemason?
I don't. Do I gain anything?
How to join? I mean, we'll figure it out.
I wanted to be one.
One of my friends' dads is a Freemason.
Both my grandfathers were Freemasons. One of them was a Grand Master.
Whoa.
Grand Master Freemason, head of his lodge, I guess, in Miami.
It's just wild.
Yeah, I wish if I knew the rules, I would have asked, dude. I want to be in it so bad, dude. I would have asked one of them.
Williamson County Freemasons.
Talking about that Cobb County player. Are you a Freemason, Nick? What?
I might. I'm going to become one.
I mean, if you're a Freemason, I was going to ask you right now. Can I be one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my son.
Yeah.
Yes, my son.
Cha-ching! Pass on the torch.
It's just crazy. Like, guys, just talk about it. We need to talk. This stuff, it needs to be talked about. And that's the bottom line is, it all exists. And we just have to keep getting the steps closer. And we're tiptoeing, but this is 3 things in a row we've talked about. We've talked about this and Bohemian Grove and something else.
I didn't intend to connect this with Bohemian Grove when this started. It was it wasn't even in my head.
Right.
And
things are starting to cross.
What?
It's just happening. Like that's the catch. With out of body experiences and exorcisms, they're connecting, and then eventually we're going to talk about alien abductions. Spoiler alert, Johnny.
Well, no shit though. Like that's like
right. It's a no brainer. But like those three things are going to connect, and we're going to keep finding these breadcrumb trails that are led. And whether we're hitting those things in order, great. But this whole Freemasonry with the Denver International Airport, with the Georgia Guidestones, which we'll do an episode on, and then Bohemian Grove, it's like, what? Everything's connecting. Everything is connected.
The idea is that it should be connecting, though, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't make sense. Like, if something needs to be crazy, other things have to be crazy as well that relate.
Right.
Yep. It's all one big plot, man. It's all one big plot, one big ploy, one big plan. I just hope I'm one of that 500 million.
You're not. I'm sorry.
I think I could be, man. I think if we work on it, guys, I think we could be.
Because why would you be?
Why would you be?
In 2012, the movie, whatever, it is said, this is a movie, but it said that the most influential, important people. Okay, I didn't like the movie, but I liked parts of it. Okay, I like the movie. All right, I like the movie. I was also young.
It's a movie. Okay, it exists.
Okay. Anyways, so in the movie, they say on those like arcs that they put them on, they were influential people, they were rich people, but more than anything, they paid their way on. Now, I don't think any of us are influential, famous, or wealthy enough to pay our way on. So, Taylor, to be honest, you're not one of the 50 million.
Well, I also think that was just it's not a good movie. We'll back that up with just saying it's not a good movie. I don't think money would be what gets you onto those boats. Why? What do they have any use for money for after that?
So I agree. I think the concept is whatever is like the perfect race ratio human should be on there, but I just don't think we're on there.
I don't know, Johnny. I believe in myself.
And you can do that, Taylor. You believe in yourself.
I am one in my universe, so of course I am. I created the whole fucking thing anyways.
Well, I think we've reached another close to a crazy episode. Taylor, you
went down the water slide. We hit the pool at the end.
Yeah, we did, and
it was
felt
exciting.
Nice.
That sounds like it hurt.
It was nice and cool.
It felt nice.
Oh, pool. I thought you said pull.
Pool.
No, it was a pool. It was a pool.
Much more relaxing than a pole hitting.
So guys, if you have a hypothetical that you want us to talk about or a thought you'd like to share about today's episode, good news. You can shoot us an email at hybrothoughts@gmail.com. But you know what? Who uses email nowadays? So go ahead over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/hybrothetical thinking. We're posting more content throughout the week. We have memes, and we're working on some other cool stuff that Johnny teased. And we have polls and stuff. If you don't know how to spell hypothetical thinking, it means, huh?
Did you say pool?
I said poll.
And they're so interchangeable.
Polls. Hypothetical thinking. Facebook.com/hypothetical thinking. And then, guys, please do us a favor. And if you're listening to us on TuneIn, Stitcher, or iTunes, make sure to head over to that little button.
You said butt.
The little 5-star button. Just hit that for us. It helps us get closer to our dream of being listed in the top 100 podcasts on iTunes.
Ultimately,
in the top 100,000 podcasts.
I don't think so. I think our ultimate dream is to get in part of this Denver airport, part of the 500,000. If you guys help us survive, we will survive and remember you.
Yeah, we will. We will remember you.
If we band together, we could break in.
You.
And real quick, a huge thanks to some of our amazing folks who interact with us on the social medias.
Yeah, that's a couple of awesome.
Shout out to Nikki Hasting.
Oh, shit, Nikki.
Mags, our favorite. And you know what? As far as shout outs go, I'm going to shout out to someone who's very important to us. It's Professor Neil Gamel of the University of Otago in New Zealand. He arrived on Saturday and he's begun the search for Nessie.
Yeah.
Like Loch Ness.
Yeah.
So we're sending good, positive vibes and energy to your way, Professor Gamel. And we hope for the best because you know what? We need a little light in this darkness that we
need
call.
answers.
Yeah, we need another animal. I want some Nessie to be real,
We need another animal.
We need another animal. Show me some facts.
Give me an animal.
Cool. Well, with all that being said, guys, another episode. We're on 12 now. We have so much cool stuff in the future. We have some merch that we're working on and some other things that we can't talk about quite yet. But you know what? By August, things are going to get wild, guys.
You will know.
You'll know.
Wild and crazy kids.
That's us.
Things are changing. Things are happening. Expansions, growth.
Moving and shaking. We just want to keep things different for you guys.
And growing.
Great.
Well
then. Here we are.
Who are you?
Oh, hi. So I have been and will always be, in for the time being, Nick.
I was born into this world as John Taylor Nelson, and I will leave it as such.
I was hatched, Johnny Clark, and by the time this extinction goes through, I will never be Johnny Clark again.
Johnny has been hatched by a Freemason. He pooped him out. He warmed him up with his inside of his belly button.
Dude, things hatch don't hatch out of butts. They don't.
They do.
What?
No,
yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, but it's a different tube.
Butt hatch.
Still a butt, though. I would say if you're looking at the butt from the outside, the whole thing is a butt.
Okay, it's
then
a
when
butt.
you go in and start being precise, then maybe it's not a butt. But I think from an outward glance, it's a butt.
I don't like the idea of me being hatched via a butt. But
Yeah, no, you're not.
but
But you're a butt, baby.
But yeah, I guess tune in next week, guys.
Tune in next week to find out what we talk about next week on next week's episode. So next week, guys, we'll talk to you next week. And until then, next week, guys.
Adios, amigos.
And that's the end.